Hello beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. Pots and Petals here, everything garden and allotment related. So today I've had to actually voice over because it's really windy down here today. As you can see, quite a bit of cloud, not the sunny days that we have been having over the last few days. I haven't been able to get down to the allotment over the last couple of weeks, so it is looking a little bit messy. We've got quite a few tidying up jobs to do today. I want to show you inside the polyhouse because everything has just gone absolutely wild in there, the cucumbers and the tomatoes. So we'll pop in there, and I think if all else fails, we're going to have a good harvest. So I definitely know we have got some potatoes that I need to get. I'm pretty sure we've got some carrots, some beetroot, and everything else will just be a bit of a surprise. So come on. So let's start inside the polyhouse because it's gone crazy in here. All the tomatoes are a good 3.5 foot, maybe 4. They really have put on so much growth, but I haven't been in here to do the side shoots and pinch them out. So we'll have a proper check through in a moment. And I think I'm going to start removing some of the lower leaves on these plants. So when you start watering your tomatoes, if you find that you're getting the leaves quite wet, that can cause mildew at a later stage. So you really want to be only watering the base of your tomato plants, and then as they start to grow, you can start to cut off the bottom leaves because they don't need them so much. So we'll go round in a moment and we will just have a tidy up of the tomato plants. And at the back we have got the cucumbers. So these have really taken off, as you can see. They're also about 3-4 foot, and we've also got some diddly little cucumbers already on the go. So we've got one here, another one up here. I think we've got quite a few, so it should be a good year for the cucumbers. And if we just pop you down here, you can already see some of the tomatoes that are starting to form. So we've got some baby tomatoes, they should get a little bit bigger. Same down here. Lots of tiny green tomatoes, so hopefully a good year for those as well. And if we just pan round over here, we've got the other cucumbers. This one seems to have really taken off, and we've got 2 more down there which have survived. The other 2 got eaten. And the actual aubergines, they're now starting to take off as well. I don't know if we're going to get many aubergines on these plants, but we'll certainly give them a go. What's this little fella here? Little caterpillar. We'll pop him outside. And we've got a little chilli down here. That's in full bloom. And we've even got some diddly little peppers on the go. So it shouldn't be too long before we've got some little chilies. And then just down here, you can see the lemon mint is now starting to come up. So we might try some of that. Let's give it a little rub. Okay, so very basil-y with a hint of sort of citronella smell. I'm not a huge fan of basil. I know someone took the mickey, but I do just find it really planty tasting, a bit grassy. But we'll see what they do with the tomatoes. Make a nice sauce or something. But yeah, we need to have a really good tidy up in here, do a bit of weeding, and get all the tomatoes nicely strung up. So come on, let's get that sorted now. So before we start, I did just want to give you an example of a plant where I didn't remove the side shoots. So it is a cordon variety, but because I haven't removed the side shoots, it has started to bush out quite a bit. Now, it's not going to affect your harvest or the fruit, because as you can see, this is absolutely laden with flowers that are going to turn into tomatoes. So it's not going to affect your harvest, but it does just mean that you've got to take a little bit more care with them. So because there's more leaves and it's more bushy, you're going to be more susceptible to powdery mildew. So I'm just going to go in and start removing some of those lower leaves and the leaves in the middle, just so that it gives the plant a little bit more air to breathe, and any moisture in there has got room to circulate properly. As you can see, I've given that a really good trim up. I've removed all these lower leaves that we don't need down here, so when I'm watering, that isn't splashing up and making them all go all wet, mouldy, mildewy. So don't worry too much if you do let your cordon go a bit bushy. You can just keep on top of it and just tidy it up. I'm just going to finish up down this side. I've got a mixture of tying in and also removing those side shoots. Some of those side shoots have become monsters, so what I'll need to do is just get the secateurs out and give them a chop. Now you will find that sometimes the vines or the leaves will give off a shoot like this one. So you can see we've got a tomato vine, tomatoes growing, but then it turns into this massive shoot. So we'll chop that off. We've got a few on there, and we'll just give this a general tidy up so that those tomatoes have got plenty of room to breathe. That might look a little dramatic, but honestly it doesn't do anything to the plants. The plants will continue to grow as long as you just remove the bottom leaves. So it leaves plenty of leaves on top to photosynthesize and keep that plant growing. Do go careful when you are cutting your leaves off. I have been known to cut the vine of tomatoes, so just be careful with that. And the rule that I tend to use is if you've got tomatoes forming, any leaves under there definitely can go, and then what I do is I take the top set of leaves from a forming truss. So these ones we've got little tomatoes, so I've cut these top two off because these are only now blooming. So I've just followed that rule along here, and if you keep that rule in mind, you shouldn't go wrong. Okay, remember what this side looks like, because I'm now going to give this a really good tidy up, tie them all in, chop off the lower leaves and see what we've got left. Come on. And as if by magic, there we go. All tied in, nice and tidied, and I've got a huge pile of side shoots and leaves. Look, let me just show you over here. Oh, sorry. So there's the pile. I've gone round and done all the tomatoes, so it's all looking a little bit more tidier in here. I've also given it a really good weed, and then if we just pan you around down here, I've started to tidy up the cucumber supports. So they're starting to grow quite tall now. So I've just started to string in just so that these cucumbers have got something to climb up against. So you've got these little tendrils here, and they will start to hold onto the bamboo canes, but also these strings, and climb themselves up. So we'll give this a really nice water in now that it's all tidy. So we're going to give these a good feed next. You want to start feeding your plants as soon as the flowers start to appear with something that's high in potassium, as this is going to help increase the amount of flowers that you get on your plants, which in turn means a bigger harvest. And this works for any flowering plant, such as tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, chilies, but also your aubergines, pumpkins, squash, strawberries, and it does work for just your flowering plants as well if you want more flowers. So once you start feeding your plants, you want to start by feeding every couple of weeks and then move into weekly. And I'd stop with the feed as soon as you start to get quite a few large fruits on there, and then just stick to your normal watering after that point. And if you find that the soil is really dry and you're using a water soluble feed, make sure you're watering that soil beforehand. The plants tend to struggle to take up nutrients in really dry soil, so it's important that you do make sure that that soil's a little bit damp before you go in with any feed. You might be able to hear, but the wind is really starting to pick up, and given that I haven't got my mic yet, I must order one tonight. I don't think the sound quality is going to be great, so I'm going to crack on with a load of little jobs and just tidy the place up a little bit. If I can get some filming in, I will try for you guys. If not, I'll pick you guys up again when I start to do some harvesting, and you can see what we're taking home to the kitchen today. So I have just popped into the fruit cage to see if some of the berries are ready for harvesting a little bit later. And I just wanted to show you my grapevine. I haven't pruned it, and I haven't really been training it how you're meant to, but it's done absolutely brilliantly. It's kicking off shoots left, right and centre, and there are quite a few bunches of grapes forming on there. So I do need to look into what I do, because I think you do need to thin out grapes, and I don't know whether them being under all the foliage is going to be any help at all. So I'll go home, do a little bit of research, but I don't think I'm going to prune it until next year. But hopefully we're going to have quite a few grapes this year, which will be a first off this allotment. From all this really hot weather that we've had lately, the pond has really started to dry up, so I'm going to fill this up today. I'm going to use the water butts because that's full of the rainwater, but if you haven't got rainwater you can use the tap water. It's just that tap water does have some extra chemicals in there, but after a few days they should evaporate out anyway, and this pond has got plenty of the standard pond water in there, so it's just a point of topping it up. I'm going to try and save myself a bit of work. I found a little bit of old hose pipe in the shed. I'm going to run it from the water butt system that I've got over here directly into the pond. It's not too far that it's got to go, and the water butt itself is on a stilt, on a stand, so it is higher than the pond, so it should work. So we'll cut that off, run it in and see if we can get some rainwater directly into the pond. We had a couple of trees chopped down at home, so I asked them to keep me some logs, so I do need to get these out of the boot today. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with them just yet, whether they're going to go around the pond or one of the wildlife areas. I'm not too sure, but if you've got any good ideas of what to do with some tree stumps or wooden logs, pop something in the comments. Whilst we're up here, I thought I'd just show you the teasel. Now I might be a little bit strange in that I've never actually had a teasel plant grow on the plot. I've seen them about, but I've never watched them grow from a seedling into a full-grown plant. But this beautiful little violet purple flowers, and I can see there's still plenty to come, and I didn't realise that they had those. I wasn't too sure what they looked like. I thought they just stayed like that, so that's quite exciting. I'm waiting for those to all pop out into bloom. But right, let's get these logs out and just place them somewhere until I find a new home for them. Now let's go see what we can harvest from around the plot. Now I know we've got some potatoes to get. The fruit cage can definitely have a good harvest, and I think we've got some broad beans. I'm going to see if we've got some carrots ready and maybe some beetroot, and there might be some surprises on the way, so come on, let's see what we can find. first proper harvest of the year. We've got absolutely tons of the goosey gogs, gooseberries. This is just one small part of what we've got left to harvest, so I need to think about what I'm going to do with that. I know quite a few people at work have been asking for some gooseberries. We've got some carrots, we've been thinning some of those out, some peas, strawberries, some broad beans just under there. We've got a couple of beetroot, some nice potatoes, Charlotte I believe, and then we've got some spring onion as well. So I think I'm going to have a salad tonight with this. We have got a little container of some raspberries, blueberries and red currants as well. I've got loads of red currants to harvest, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow. I just need to get back to the kitchen and prepare some of this, so I'll do that later tonight. That's all we've got time for today, folks. It's been a bit of a miserable, windy day today, so I haven't got as many jobs done as I would have liked, but I've always got tomorrow, so I'll be back down tomorrow. I'll bring you guys with me, and yeah, I hope to see you all again soon down on the plot. So take care, have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.